my kitchen. I'm Robin Asbell, your plant-based chef, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to learn to love this purple baby. Yes, beautiful purple eggplant. Some people just can't figure out quite how to embrace this beautiful vegetable. But today, you're going to learn how to do something so exciting with it, everyone's going to love it. Now today, I'm going to make something called eggplant nam prik. It's a Thai dish that's actually a dip. Now you don't see it a lot on restaurant menus. It's a little bit labor intensive, but it's a really interesting dish because we're going to explore the flavor of char, and we're going to explore roasting and super intensifying the ingredients of this dish to make this all vegetable, all plant, delicious dip that's like a super flavor bomb sensation. And so if you like this, come on back to my kitchen again. Go to robinasbell.com. Check out my virtual classes. I've got all kinds of events and they're up on Eventbrite too. So robinasbell.com. So today, to get started, I'm going to put some garlic. I've got garlic peeled. Now this is one big head of garlic. And I've got a couple of good-sized shallots, and I'm just cutting them into slices so they will roast more quickly. And for this dish, I'm going to put these guys right in the oven. I've got the oven at 400 degrees, drizzling that with a little bit of avocado oil because I like the flavor of the roasted garlic to be nice and mellow. So see, I've made this little packet of garlic and shallots out of an old piece of foil that I'd already used for something else. And I'm going to put this right in the oven. Now comes the fun part. I've got my gas burner and I've got that cranked up, and I'm going to start just charring the eggplant. Now, you can put this on, your usual burner on my stove. I can lay it on there and let it rest right over the fire. But this one doesn't have as much room. This one, you've got to like lay it right on the fire, and that's okay. Just gonna lay it right on there till it's blackened. Now you might be thinking, this looks wildly dangerous. Not really. Your eggplant's gonna get nice and blackened. And charred, and that's exactly what we want. Now, if we had the long, skinny eggplants, this would be all the cooking that we would do to the eggplants. But since we're doing it with a bigger, fatter globe eggplant, we're going to go ahead and roast it afterwards. So it's just as well that I'm roasting the garlic in the oven. And you can do this on the grill as well. But I want to get this thing fully blackened all over. Just, oops, black, flaky skin coming off of it every which way is what you want. And sometimes little bits of skin might catch fire, but not a big deal. So this is actually kind of bringing it to a boil inside. You can see some of the little places where it tears, it kind of bubbles out. But it's all good. We just want to get that sucker burned up, as if it were sitting over a charred grill. So little messy sometimes, but it's worth it. See how exciting it is? The skin's just practically peeling off of it. And that's what we want, because we're going to peel that skin off later. It's just going to slip right off. So there we go. Here's our eggplant, just about charred, nice and burnt. So now I'm going to continue the process with my jalapeno. And I'm just going to do the same, holding it over the fire. Good thing it's got a nice stem on it. Just keep turning it. Now you can do this under a broiler too. Just keep on broiling it, burning it. You might be asking me, why am I burning my vegetables? Well, it's going to help get the skin off. That's one thing. But it's also giving it this wonderful smoky flavor. Ooh, look at that. Blistered and blackened, which is what we want. So we just keep burning it, turning it. And if you've got a sensitive fire alarm, you might want to be on the alert. I don't have the hood on because I don't want the noise. But definitely, I usually do this with the hood on full blast.
Welcome back.
So
here we have
get it
my beautiful
black,
roasted garlic and shallots in a packet.
And blue.
And I've got my
black and green.
Eggplant and chili peppers, which are all
Just
blackened
like that puppy bubble
and
up.
limp. Now I've let them cool a little bit so I can handle them.
Get burned.
I'm going to put it all in the food processor, so I'll just dump this in there.
And while we're doing that, I'll start doing
And
this
then I'm going to show you how I
got these little red peppers.
laboriously scrape the blackened part off.
Little red peppers that
Not so bad.
have a heat index about the same as a jalapeno.
Just going to run a knife along here.
I'm lucky to live in a city where we have a bunch of really great small farmers who grow really great chili peppers for us. Look at that.
Comes off pretty easily.
Fire. Burn it
and
up.
The flesh underneath is nice and tender because I finished it in the oven.
Now you
so
can do
it's
this
got
on
the
a
lovely
kind of
char
grate if you'd like,
and a slow
but it will
roasted
take
flavor
longer.
as well. And I thought it would just take 10 minutes, but I went ahead
so
for
why not just
20
do it the fast way?
because I wanted to get it nice and soft all the way through. And you can see the skin is just scraping right off. It's a little messy, but once we get it in the processor, it won't matter. And this is the same method that we use to make other delicious eggplant dishes, like baba ganoush is really good when you make it with this kind of charred, blackened eggplant.
These
You might be saying,
beautiful
Robin,
little guys.
you are crazy. You
roast
burned your vegetables.
The rest of the
Your
way.
vegetables were on fire. I
Put 'em in
saw
the oven
smoke
with
coming
the
off of them.
eggplant for about 10 minutes.
Yes, they're on
So
fire.
everything gets really butter
On fire with
soft
flavor.
and roasted completely
Because
all the way through.
it's just going to give them that
After all
lovely
this
campfire taste,
So
and
I'm
it
gonna
adds
put a lid on
umami.
this casserole.
You know, eggplant already
Have
has
these
some
guys
umami just
ready to go in the
inside
oven.
the eggplant itself.
Put a lid on it.
Chemicals.
And then I'll put this in the oven and I'll be
But-
back in about 10
I'm just going to lop this into some pieces and just move it right into the process.
And I will continue with my jalapeno. You see it just strips right off there. And I can strip the pepper skin right off with the side of my knife. And then I will cut the little cap off. And then I can open it up and take out the seeds. See? And just cut those guys out with my paring knife. Get the seeds and the membranes in one swoop. And this part does seem a little fussy sometimes, but it's just so worth it for all that wonderful, wonderful flavor. So you look at it, this is a very, very simple recipe. Just a few chilies, and then scrape off the skin on these little red ones. They are so lovely, and they would make a beautiful, they're going to add a little red to it, not a lot. Straight in there. Now you know the heat from chilies is in the seeds and the membranes more than the flesh. So it's absolutely fine if you leave the seeds and the membranes in if you want more heat, although it's going to be, you know, you're going to be able to see visible seeds in there. And on the other hand, if you just want the flavor, more flavor from the fruitiness and the sweetness of the ripe chili, then you go ahead and you take those seeds right out of there. And that's what I'm doing. I prefer to sort of have a surgical strike with my chili heat and get the maximum flavor out of the chilies and let the heat be less prominent. I know some people are really into chili heat, and I live in Minnesota where really hot food can be a tough sell. So I often make things with, say, this jalapeno or this little red pepper. All right, in she goes. And I will get the processor going. Just that simple. Just scrape it down. To leave a little bit of texture to it, just a little. It's one of the reasons that I do this in the food processor instead of the Vitamix. And now, instead of fish sauce, because we're plant-based here, I'm going to put in all that umami with about a tablespoon of tamari. And I'm going to squeeze in some lime juice, and I've got half a lime, and this is to taste, and this is often done with tamarind, but I realize you may not have access to tamarind, so I'm going with the easy to find grocery store stuff, which is the lime. And then I get to taste it. Smoky, hot. I might add just a little bit more tamari. A little bit more salt. It's just hot enough, delicious and hot. And so I'm going to scoop some into this little bowl. Now traditionally, whenever you see a recipe for this, it's served with broccoli and cauliflower dippers. So here we have my beautiful eggplant Prik, and I've got my broccoli and my cauliflower and my purple daikon, and I'm just going to take one little piece of daikon and taste it because it's just too tempting. I just think this stuff is so amazingly flavor packed. Everything you could want. Flavorful, smoky, rich, umami, salty, tangy, and it's pure plants. Nothing but plants. So I hope you'll try making my eggplant Prik, because when you come to my house, it is all about the flavor, and this stuff delivers. I'll see you next time.